specifically because theirs were documented before the Bible was written. That's what I was saying. And but I mean, maybe this is flawed logic on my part, but I tend to think that the older story is probably the more accurate. If I see some shit and I'm sitting in 10,000 BC and I write it down, that's probably more accurate than shit that got told, through generation to generation.
If you have the ability to understand what you're seeing.
Yes. There is that.
You have to have the frame of reference to understand.
Are you going to go with the ancient alien thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
you act like we hadn't talked about ancient aliens ever.
I mean... she's not.
He was just saying the day Brandy does the ancient alien theory is the day the world stops spinning because they piss me off. But yeah, I mean, you have to have the frame of reference to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's why, because like I've read some studies on Revelation, was when she brought up the dragons, I made me think of it, that's saying like there are theories that some of the visions that like he saw and he was trying to describe as like
giant scorpions
and things like that were actually like nuclear reactions.
Well, what's funny is they in the Bible,
and which makes total sense because if you see something you can't explain,
right,
you try to relate it to
you make it like
Well, here's the thing that I have a problem with about the references to dragons in the Bible, because in Revelations they do call the devil the dragon. None of them motherfuckers that knew what a dragon was, because that was a Far East idea.
Well, it was
there was no other place in Middle Eastern history where they spoke about dragons ever. So unless John of Patmos made a trip to China while he was exiled,
I think you're gonna.
There were other places other than China that had legends of dragons,
but not in the Middle East. Not at that time.
Oh, I believe you're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to see proof of that.
Well, look it up.
No, you're the one telling me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Brandy pulled out her iPad.
And to be fair, I mean, like
studiously.
All right, so what?
As far as dragons go, you think of a monitor lizard now, right?
A what?
A monitor lizard.
Okay,
there's a lot of species of monitor lizards.
Okay,
they're 3-4 foot long. The Komodo dragon is a monitor lizard. It's 6-7 foot long. Their ancestors
could have been considerably bigger.
Oh, could have been. They were 15, 20 foot long. I mean,
son of a bitch.
Damn. Yeah, you see one of them, you're like, holy hell.
Komodo dragons are poisonous, are they not?
I mean, like the Hydra is
their mouth has like 300 different types of bacteria. They're not
Y'all
poisonous
got to talk at one time.
So they're not poisonous per se.
Yeah.
Well, what they do, they don't technically like attack and kill their prey. They bite their prey and wait for the infection to immobilize them.
Man, that's like the long con. Holy shit.
So from what I'm seeing, they talk about sea dragons, which would be large sea animals.
Okay.
And the dragons they talk about on land sound like crocodiles, big lizards.
And that's probably what they're
okay. All right. So as far as what you're saying, you were wrong. Okay,
I had a 50-50 shot on that.
But no, like the Hydra, that's a ancient like Persian myth. Abraxas. There were all kinds of like ancient dragon myths in.
Yeah, it's not just a
pre-biblical time.
American Indians, I believe, had legends of dragons. Yeah.
Well, it's like anything else. Every culture, it's like a commonality, which actually goes to your point that it probably did like.
That's what I meant for it to do.
Those probably did evolve, those stories, from like seeing a holdover from like that
megafauna period.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, depending on how you look at it,
all tripping balls,
or it could be that.
Well, or like severely dehydrated.
Never count that out.
Not in the desert.
To be fair, like all of the recent, and I say recent, I'm talking the last couple hundred years, reports of Bigfoot. There was a what the hell was it called?
I don't know.
Gigantopithecus was an animal that existed.
Oh, the big ape.
That was a giant ape. Okay, more than likely, those stories probably stemmed from that animal.
Right.
I don't know exactly when they went extinct, but it was within the last 20,000, 30,000 years. if they in fact went extinct.
Right.
I mean, there's something behind all those legends.
Well, and I mean, if you're getting hunted, I can imagine that you'd probably become pretty damn adept at hiding.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you look at, like, the recreations of what they think Gigantopithecus looked like, looks a lot.
Looks like a Bigfoot.
It does.
Yeah.
But,
I mean...
Now, one thing I don't get, I've seen depictions of dinosaurs on architecture around the world. There's one I've seen, I can't remember where it was. It's very clearly a stegosaur. Has the plates and the going across the back and everything else.
Like distinctive.
Okay, how would they know that?
You don't think they saw? I mean, just like...
Well,
I mean, there are fossils we find now. I mean, I know that's not the norm, but fossils are found now that are pretty intact, that you can see the outline and the shape. So I always have figured it was something like that.
Yeah, maybe they saw a fossil. And imagined what it could have looked like.
Yeah, like with color and flesh.
What gets me is like things on like hieroglyphs and stuff like that. I've seen things that look like aliens or astronauts, stuff like that, and I'm just like, what
planes.
Big ass light bulbs and generators and batteries.
What did they see that?
Like I always
look like that.
Yeah, like I'm always trying to figure out. I always ask myself, does it look like those things to me because I have the reference for them?
Right.
Or is that, if it wasn't, what did they see that would have looked that way?
And that point of reference is so crucial because, I mean, we've all heard the phrase that sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't understand something, it seems like...
Yeah, exactly. This fucking phone that I have in my hand...
You take that back.
No. This computer that you have in your hand.
This has hundreds of times more horsepower than it took to get a motherfucking crew to the moon and back.
I guarantee you.
And if you took this back 100 years, you would be a sorcerer.
Yeah, it would be a magic device.
If I could take a picture of somebody... No, probably 200 years, I guess. If I could take a picture of somebody and then turn around and show it to them in 4K... or light color.
They would say you were a witch.
They would say that you're stealing their soul. Absolutely.
Or a devil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not only that, even think about it. This little device can produce light
and sound.
Can produce sound.
Yeah,
it would absolutely be black magic.
Yeah, they would think you were Merlin.
Yeah, exactly. And it's indistinguishable to that person from magic, even though we know it's just glass and silicone diodes.
Right, because we understand something about the point of reference about how it makes it work, where they didn't.
I know I'm kind of jumping around, but it just amazes me that they can have something so much more powerful that you can have in your pocket than what they had when they sent people to the moon.
It took a whole room.
They can't send people to the moon now. They can't recreate.
Oh yeah, that seems shady as shit. You know where what kind of irritates me is I have the entirety of human knowledge on my phone, but the best way to check my prostate is still to finger my ass. We haven't come up with a better way than that.
They're all sexual
that's
predators.
really
I wouldn't doubt if there's some sort of sick gratification from that. Be like, oh, you want to get mouthy?
All right,
bend over, bitch. Yeah.
Here, you're aging, and pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, they need you to do that now. I got a letter from an insurance company earlier today. God.
But no, you were talking about the megalodon. Have you seen the there's 2 or 3 videos floating around from like deep sea rigs?
Well, I saw that one where that great white was on. I think it was on a hook, and they were pulling it in to unhook it, and something bit this bitch in half.
Yeah.
Like they have the great white shark up and something.
Yes,
they're coming up with the great
because it had gotten hooked by one of their things,
and so they were trying to release it.
Right. And
are you sure this wasn't a photoshopped image?
No, it's a video.
Who the fuck knows anymore? But
Sharknado?
Yeah, no. I mean,
like
it was
the shark coming up
in
the helicopter?
No, it was a video.
Yeah,
and they're pulling it up, and then all of a sudden, boom, and half the shark is gone.
I'm going to say that.
No, okay, but here's the other one.
Okay, before y'all try to make me look stupid, I'm not saying it's fucking photoshopped or not, because I can't tell.
You just said.
Yeah. I said there was a video.
I'm not talking like it was real.
It looked real.
All right, shark.
Okay, now
you better not say Sharknado.
There's another video, and I believe it may be in Indonesian area, and it is a research vessel and the video shows, and what it is, they first thought it was something else, but somebody else chimed in. It's like, no, that's a crab cage.
Okay.
You're saying
So the crab cage is like 6 to 7 foot across. This shark comes down to investigate it, and you see it kind of behind and from the side. That shark is massive. I'm talking 30, 40 foot.
Holy shit.
There's another video that's from like an oil rig or some sort of thing, and this thing comes up like this, and you see it past the camera, and I mean it's going forever.
Oh no, I did see that. Yeah, that was fucking
so
huge.
I mean, that's one.
Stop! I'm trying to see if this is the one you were talking about.
That's the crab cage one right there. Shut up.
Now all I hear is crab cakes.
Yeah, and I'm so hungry.
Cage.
No, I heard what you said.
I'm trying to see if this is the first video y'all were talking about. But apparently it's like taking forever.
Did you know if you double tap it, it'll... There you go. It'll jump ahead like 10 feet.
10 feet.
10 seconds. Okay, that shit was obviously fake.
Well, that was from a movie.
Yeah.
Chris, talk.
Jesus Christ on a cracker.
Well...
Who made this video?
So, they're trying to look up the video of the megalodon.
And apparently this person is like taking me through...
and of course the Greek version of that is the megalodonus.
You're an idiot.
Really?
Wow.
Nothing. I thought that was funny.
No, nothing. That was not funny at all. That was
man,
lame as hell.
Fuck
didn't
you.
show
I thought that was a good play on words.
No, that was lame.
I thought it was a little bit funny.
But,
Not even a little bit.
But yeah, I don't know. There's some question about whether or not the megalodon's still hanging around.
Yeah, and some oceanographers actually have come out and said, no, we think there might be at least one.
Can you imagine how old it would be?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thousands and thousands.
Yeah,
of
because
years
I mean,
old.
like some of those turtles
that would far surpass that one thing as being the oldest living vertebrate. And they say that it normally stays down deep.
So
yeah.
deep,
yeah. And,
well, there was
that's probably how it's avoided.
Yeah.
I don't know
detection and whatnot.
What is the name of that program? There's a program that tags and tracks sharks.
Right.
You can actually get online and follow the sharks. They had one that was, I want to say, 14, 15 foot.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And that's from Sky TV, is it not? Is that what that says?
Yeah, Sky News.
Sky News is a British news
but it was
station.
one they were tracking that was 14, 15 foot.
Yeah, that's like a 15-foot fucking...
They don't
big
have
bite.
Yeah.
They don't have video of this, but they have all the telemetry from the tracking device, right?
Okay.
And it shows this thing cruising along, and all of a sudden its like heart rate goes up, its temperature goes up.
Its temperature goes up.
And
probably it shit itself.
No, because it was worried apparently. And the next thing they know,
Flatline.
That makes me sad for it.
This thing drops 6,000 feet like that.
Oh my god!
Like something grabbed it and took off. And
see, that would have to be megalodon because I don't think a normal shark can go to 6,000 feet.
That makes me so sad for it. It knew it was.
But it was like from the telemetry of the tracking device, they're like something significant happened to the shark.
Or it might not have been a megalodon because I do in fact think that the giant squid can go that deep. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not an oceanographer. I'm not a zoologist. But if I'm pulling information out of my ass, I do think that's the case.
No.
When you say that, I get this picture of you just squatting, pulling like threads out of your ass.
That's what happens.
Oh, cool.
Threads of knowledge.
Yeah.
Threads of knowledge. Okay.
But threads of knowledge. What do you got over there, Slappy J?
I'm still looking at sharks.
She's over here fucking thinking it's Shark Week.
Yeah.
So you know what I've always wondered, and I don't know how they came up with this. How did they come up with the idea that that the dinosaurs were covered in scales and shit? Because they could have been. I mean, they could have been covered in fucking feathers. They don't know.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Who says they were covered in scales?
Well, I'm not.
Well, they
that
have
scaly type
some,
skin,
and I mean different.
You know, like
Are
you thinking dragons?
or alligator type skin. You know, I mean, God damn it, the point
fur
is
and feathers.
How do they know what they were covered with? They could be covered with like
they don't. They're making
speculation based on